Running a church is not a joke. And if before you start running a church, you must be ready to sacrifice. Yes, when I mean sacrifice, sacrifice your time, sacrifice resources, sacrifice the comfort. Like, because the truth is that these people who come to church, the church is like a hospital. People come there for different reasons. So now, a lady commented somewhere and said that she left a church and nobody, okay, no, there was a story that a pastor of Redeemed Christian Church, one of their branches, raped his own daughter, slept with his own daughter. And then people were like, that somebody said since she left the church, one of their branches, nobody reached out to her. Another person said that you should not use that to judge, that he even left the church he used to play drums for, and nobody checked on him until today. And that let's just see that that's how some branches are. So Herbert Wigwe's case came up again on the blog, and somebody now said they read out everything that happened. Like, they're going to Eco Hotel to do service of songs, some of the service of song. They have so many places they are doing all of this. They mentioned all the parishes they are going to use, and they did not use House of David. Like Redeemed Christian Church, House of David, they did not use it. You know why? The family is still upset that the pastor's wife went ahead to do this kind of event. Now, one guy on the comment section wrote something, and I replied him. And when I replied him, a lot of people have been liking that comment I replied. I said, is it because a rich man died? That's what he said. Is it because a rich man died? That's why people will now stop breeding or something. There's the way he said it. I say, no. The guy is not just a rich man. He's one of the top financiers of that parish. Like, when it comes to a man that placed the choir on salary, and the woman's birthday, the pastor's wife's birthday, was in January, so she shifted it to February. So a week to her birthday, this pastor passed on, which is possible that even on her birthday, the church must have even celebrated. If a Wigwe was around, he must have given her something, because you know how it is now, your pastor's wife. And that parish is a very big parish, because there's one of my uncles that used to worship there, who is now a senator. You understand? He worships in that parish. I've been in that parish. I've been to that parish before when I went to visit my brother in Lagos. So it's a big parish. Like, when he talks, there are big men and women in that church. But the Wigwe, he has children that he adopted, that he's paying their fees. Not that he adopted them into his home, but like he's financially, responsible for them. So when this guy was saying it, is it because he's rich? That's why people would wait for will now not do anything. One other woman would now say that is it because that why did Access Bank hold on? Like, Access Bank would have stopped operation because their MD died. No. Access Bank, not all the staff were operating. If you visited any Access Bank, as at the time this thing happened, not all staff. It's just the people that will attend to customers, because a bank is an institution, a financial institution, where somebody gives you money and say, keep it for me. When I am ready, it's safe there, I'll come and pick it, because it's difficult for people to break into a bank, you get. Even not now that people just break into banks. So keep the money for me, I'll come and pick it. And of course, when this man died, if you go to his comment section, you see a lot of people, some people were commenting and saying that why would they, that hope that this man is dead, they will not use their money to do burial. I don't know if you understand. Now, a lot of people have already dragged this pastor's wife for going all out to celebrate, inviting Flavor. Some people said she had paid vendors. A vendor can wait. My own is that a vendor can wait, because the vendors already know that this is a situation in the country. Like, this is a national issue. This guy died. Like, this guy is an asset to Africa, for Christ's sake. And I was telling them that it's not like the guy alone died. Empathy. As a child of God, or as a human being, you should have empathy. Because the reason the reason Christ died was to give us salvation. And what is salvation? Salvation comes with empathy. It comes with sacrifice, meaning that God sacrificed his own son, his only begotten son. And the word only begotten, meaning that was the only son he had. He's sacrificing. When Jesus Christ, likened his relationship with Abraham, what did he say? Abraham is a faithful person, because Abraham was ready to sacrifice his son, his only son, that he waited for too long to get. Do you understand? Even though he was a child of promise, he was ready to sacrifice him. And the boy asked the father, he said, Papa, which lamb are we going to use for the sacrifice? And it was at the point where he had burned his son and kept him to, he raised the knife. That was when God showed him the lamb. That is the kind of sacrifice we should do. In this case, somebody asked on the comment section and said, if it were the pastor's husband, God forbid, in bracket, she said, open and close, and said, what if it's the husband or her brother that died? Would she have gone on with the celebration? That is how, as a pastor, as a spiritual leader, you should put yourself always. It's a whole lot being a pastor. That is why you see me, I'll tell people that I don't like to be pastor or anything. I don't want that kind of, because it's a whole lot of, that is, you have to go, how as a member of church, people, demand that you be there for them. Then as a pastor, you have to die to self. You have to be there for the people. I remember that a church member of ours had an accident on our court wedding. They called my husband while he was in, they called him while he was in court. Inside the court, while we were trying to exchange vows to give him a report about something that happened in church. While we were just getting home, people were still coming to say, oh, congratulations. So we got a call that a member of church died, had an accident and died. We had to leave very early, around 6 a.m. because the place is very far. It's another state from Abuja. We went there to greet them, to stay with them. You understand? Do you know that those people still, the wife of that man still said, some members came to, like her school members, school staff, still were gossiping that the church members would have come to sleep. Meanwhile, she is the owner of the school. Her teachers were already in the house. The house was not big enough for church members to sleep. They still were criticizing that church members would have come to sleep there with the woman, even after church members left what they were doing to come and stay till night. But they still judge church members because they did not sleep there. I don't know if you are getting. So it's a whole lot of responsibility. This man did not just die. If he even died and had a wife to mourn him, or died and had a son to mourn him. But imagine that you got married, husband and wife, started a family with one son, and that boy grew up, finished school, and I'm sure had finished masters, and then the day your husband and wife was to die, that same boy you people started life with dies with you. Imagine the trauma that couple had to go through, watching their son cry for help. The man who is the protector of the home couldn't help her. He helped his wife. She couldn't help her son. They both couldn't save their own son. You can imagine the trauma, meaning the kind of trauma they died with. Nobody deserved to die like that. So that is why the family is doing what they are doing. And of course, Daddy Freeze, you know him now. He will come and say, he said that until people understand that church is business, they will not, face forward. Church is not business, Daddy Freeze. Church is not business. I refuse to agree with you that church is business. Because I know that church has been there for me. Yes. Church has been there for me as a family. I remember when I gave birth to my triplet, my deacon in church, he traveled to the US. He shopped for me. People who didn't know me because he heard that they heard that giving birth. He was in the US, I think Canada or US when I gave birth. He went out. So people who heard I gave birth to triplet just got to hear him, jumping and being excited. And they offered to buy things for my kids. They shopped for my kids. This man went out, bought us a bag of rice, a half bag of rice, bought us so many things, bought clothes for my kids, bought so many things for the kitchen. They all from church. You understand? So no. When my son had an accident, church came. People came from church to donate blood to my son. But before they could arrive, my husband had already donated. So some people came and stayed there. One of our church members' car battery ran down because when he heard about the thing, he drove to the hospital, left his headlight on, and his battery ran down because he didn't care that time. It was the boy's life that was important. You get? That was church. So church is not, it depends on the pastor and their sensibilities. Their sensitivity or sensibilities, like, are you sensible to things? Like, are you, like, how will I put it? Emotional intelligence should also be something that people will look out for. As a leader, you should be able to learn emotional intelligence, practice it, know it, have empathy. That is what people are against. Now, your church is not burying a member. Why?